All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another of the 300 pounds of sports knowledge podcast. Now, for the Dallas Cowboys, this is a very interesting moment right here. You look at this team, and they flirted with losing both of their offensive coordinators this offseason. But right now, for the Cowboys, it's a situation where, hey, they already have Dan Quinn back. And with the pending return of of Kellen Moore, it's a situation where you have to question what this team is going to be able to do for the upcoming NFL season. You look at it with the Dallas Cowboys. We thought that Kellen Moore was possibly going to get the head coaching job with the Miami Dolphins. That didn't come to fruition. So it's a situation where that really changes things for the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, because it looked like he was out the door, but the Dolphins decided to go with San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel. And that basically is a strong sign that Kellen Moore is returning to the Dallas Cowboys. So it's a situation where the Cowboys are going to get both of their coordinators back. Because Dan Quinn was out there as well in regards to receiving some interest from head coaching vacancies this off season. But Quinn is back as well. So the thing you have to ask yourself is, will the return of both Quinn and Moore lead to big things for the Dallas Cowboys in 2022? The Cowboys, listen, they know that they're good enough to win the NFC East. We've seen that. But for Dallas, it's all going to come down to what they can do against the other teams out there. You look at it, Dallas went 6-0 against the NFC East this past season, but they were 6-6 against everybody else, including their playoff loss in the first round to the San Francisco 49ers. So basically, now you're going to have your brain trust back. You're going to have Jerry Jones, of course, and Stephen Jones. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Mike McCarthy, the head coach, and a lot of people have a lot of questions about Mike McCarthy, but nonetheless, like I said before, Mike McCarthy signed a 5-year deal. Jerry Jones is not paying him for 3 more years to not be the head coach and have another head coach. It's just not working like that. And of course, you have Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn returning. Now, we know that the Cowboys have the star players, but honestly, at the end of the day, and we've said this before, it won't be a hill of beans if they don't go out there and execute. So you look at it right now. There are some questions, obviously, with this Cowboys team heading into the offseason with free agency and potential players being released. But they have some guys that are unrestricted free agents that they'll definitely have to do their part to try to re-sign. Michael Gallup, they could probably get on the cheap, being that he just suffered the season-ending injury just prior to the postseason. But then also a guy like Ron Curse, we saw what he did in that secondary for the Cowboys this season. Keanu Neal is another player to keep an eye on, especially right now, being that the Cowboys only have two linebackers under contract, and Jabari Cox and Micah Parsons. And of course, Micah Parsons is not going anywhere anytime soon, especially after the impact that he made this past season as a rookie. But you look at it and you ask yourself, who's going to have the bigger impact in regards to coordinators? Is it going to be Quinn or is it going to be Moore? And for Dan Quinn, regardless if it was in Seattle or now here in Dallas, as long in regards to being a coordinator, of course, he was a long tenured coach with the Atlanta Falcons, but nonetheless, players are simply tend to gravitate to him. That's what my eyes have seen when he is a defensive coordinator. And you see the defensive guys, gravitating to Dan Quinn. So I think his impact is going to be, so important. And you look on the offensive side, say what you want about Dak Prescott. He's had his highs and he's had his lows, but it's important for that relationship between the OC and the quarterback. So to have Dak once again with the same offensive coordinator now for 4 years, heading into the fifth year, I think that's going to be big for his psyche. Obviously, There's a lot of questions for the Cowboys, running back position, offensive line, you name it. So there's plenty for them to address in this offseason. But I think it's important for them at least to have both offensive coordinators heading back for the 2022 NFL season. A lot of work ahead for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll see how they get it going between free agency, the draft. Of course, there are going to be some players who get released. That always happens with every team. But nonetheless, I think it's so important for them to have their brain trust and both Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn back, getting both of their coordinators back for next season. So let's see how this affects the Dallas Cowboys on the field for next season, positively or negatively. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.